I don't know why I relate to a film about a big, old, destructive oaf and his little, tiny female sidekick so much. Hey everyone, it's me, Aaron.
I'm Michelle.
This is our post-Geekout reaction for Ralph Breaks the Internet. We did last week a post-Geekout retrospective in which we went back and we watched the first film again, and for anybody who didn't see that, we both really dug the first film. We liked it when we first saw it, and it still holds up after all these years. I do understand some people have complaints with it, and, you know, second time watching it, I was able to see a couple of those complaints, but I still really enjoyed it. And I'll just go ahead and say, I like this one about the same. Like, it's almost on that same quality.
I liked it too. I think it's cute. I probably did not like it as much as the first one.
You also like the first one more than I did.
Yes, that's true.
So that is worth pointing out. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about this. Basically, it picks up almost right after the first film.
Like, well, it says like 6 years.
It says that 6 years have passed. However, again, we watched the first film again to prep for this one. It really does feel like you are designed to go straight from that one into this one because there's so many like small references they make back to the first film that I would have completely forgotten about if I had not watched the first film all over again. So it is kind of great that anybody who knows the first film so well, it will feel like this one is like, no, it is the direct continuation. It does not feel like different people came on and made this one.
Right.
That's the best way that I can sum it up.
Yes, and that's good.
Yes. But in this one, Ralph and Vanellope, they've been friends for a while now. They've got their regular tradition, but Vanellope kind of wants something different, but Ralph's like, why do you want anything different? You've got everything that you want here, which is kind of interesting because in the first film, Ralph was the one who was like, I don't want the same old thing I've always been having. I want something different now. But that's because he was unhappy?
Yeah, like he was like basically treated like crap. So like now that he actually has like respect, he's like, I'm happy in my place.
Now that he's happy, he's like, don't touch anything.
Yes, like
I worked 30 years to get to this point. Don't you guys go screwing this up now for me. So that's basically where he's at, but she, you know, she's played the same 3 tracks over and over and over again on her one racing course. And then one day, her steering wheel on her machine ends up getting broken, and that means the game gets unplugged.
It's like, here's the thing, though. It's a bit of a continuity error because I remember in the first movie, there were 2 seats for the Sugar Rush.
Oh, you're right, there were.
Yeah, so it's like, what happened to the
Jesus!
Wow, you jumped right up on my lap.
I'm not getting attention.
So I was wondering what happened to the second seat.
You know what? You're absolutely right. There was the second seat in the first one. Oh, wow. Well, this movie's terrible then. Yeah, that is kind of weird.
I don't know, maybe the other one got broke too. Peach.
Well, no, because there isn't even a second seat.
I know, that's like...
It's like the machine got like King Solomon, like right now. That mean, big, fancy arcade from across the river, they came over and sawed it in half. That's what happened to that one. Oh, wow. I have listened to a couple other critics' reviews of this to like try and see like what other people are thinking of it.
Easy. That's enough.
She's going in on that hand.
Yeah. Thank you for cleaning out my earwax or making more. I don't know.
I'm here to help. But yeah, I have not heard anybody bring that fact up. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's like, and I understand why they only had like 1 seat because they want to like raise the stakes and everything and like basically like start the whole plot.
Well, the thing is, if player 1 in an arcade racing game, if the steering wheel gets destroyed, you could easily just say it's like, yeah, you gotta have player 1 in there, otherwise the whole machine doesn't work. Player 2 is only there if there's 2 players. You could easily have explained, so it is kind of a little bit weird. But it's not important.
Yeah.
It's just a very small little thing. But yeah, so her machine ends up getting unplugged, so everybody in her game ends up being homeless. And they discover that on the internet, there is a replacement wheel for this being sold on eBay. But it's going for $200, and the Mr. Litwick, the guy who owns the arcade, who's voiced by Ed O'Neill, which it's weird that they got Ed O'Neill to come in for like 2 lines in both these films. Then again, he was the octopus in Finding Dory, so it feels like he was just like in the studio. I mean, granted, he's in the Pixar studio, which is across the street from Disney, but like, yeah, I can see them just like hailing him down, just like, hey, gone, you got like 5 minutes? We just need you to say like 3 lines, like that's it. Also, he's on Modern Family, so he's on the ABC set at all times, so it feels like it's weird that they did get a name, they got a celebrity to play this like guy who has like nothing really in either of these 2 films, but yeah, it feels like he's just hanging out on the lot, so that makes sense, I guess. But Mr. Litwick's like, this game doesn't even make $200 in a year. I can't possibly justify spending that money, so on Friday they're gonna come by and they're gonna take this away, so sorry kids, that's the end of Sugar Rush. So Ralph decides that in order to try and fix this, he is going to go onto the internet, he's gonna go to eBay, and he is going to get this steering wheel. They end up going there, and they don't know how eBay works, so they think you just shout out the biggest number, so they shout out $27,001. So now they have 24 hours to come up with $27,001. And so the way that they decide to do that is by having Ralph become a giant internet celebrity.
Basically being a meme.
It's by making money on YouTube.
Yes.
And
actually, it's BuzzTube.
But you all know what it is. Although it's weird, there is a moment in here in which BuzzTube is run by this head algorithm called Yes, played by Taraji T. Henson, which, man, that did not sound like Taraji T. Henson. Am I pronouncing her name correctly? I think I am screwing that name all up. Taraji P. Henson. Sorry. I was like, that's not the name. Taraji T. Henson. Switch those. Taraji P. Henson. Got it. What were you about to say?
I was going to say, like, the algorithm for BuzzTube works a lot better than the algorithm for YouTube.
I know, people can actually find what they want to look for.
They can actually make money. Wow.
BuzzTube actually lets people know where to find their videos. Yeah, like I've heard so many people talk about how this actually really captures what it's like to be a YouTuber, because you have to keep constantly be looking for that next craze out there, and then as soon as your time is up, it's just kind of done and you're gone. And I was like, yes, but the algorithm in here is still really nice, and it's still really trying to help Ralph, and it's being there to comfort Ralph, even when he's down on his luck. That is not the YouTube experience. No. BuzzTube is so much better than YouTube. There is even a moment in here in which they do, like, she is looking through, like, video clips and she goes, nah, YouTube's got that. So I was like, okay, so YouTube is actually still a thing in this world. Which that's one of the weird things to me in here, is that every place they go to is an actual, like, internet website. And I've heard some people complain because they say, well, it's just product placement. And it feels odd to me as well, because it does feel like just nonstop product placement. But at the same time, I actually hate when they use fake products in movies and stuff. I really do, whenever it comes down to, would I rather have it be shameless product placement or them coming up with a fake item, I tend to, 6 out of 10 times, like slightly more than average, I tend to go just use the actual real product. But in this one, because they have so many in there, if this movie was nothing but, we can use the search engine Gaggle, and I can get my movie tickets on Fandango, and just kept doing that over and over again, I would have been pulling my hair out. I would have been like, oh my god, just say an actual real thing, so I'm fine with it.
Yeah, it's I feel like my issue is having fake stuff, like parodies with the real stuff.
That's weird. It is kind of weird.
I mean, when the first movie, obviously, Fix It Felix Jr. is a parody of Donkey Kong,
yeah.
But, it didn't feel like they were trying to, do a cheap imitation.
It did still kind of feel like its own thing.
Yes.
Yes. It was not, WreckIt Ralph never picked up barrels to throw at Fix It Felix. Yes. I will say I'm fine with with BuzzTube, though, simply because when you have the entire central focus of your film being on this one particular website, it would feel weird to me if that was a real site. Mm-hmm. eBay I'm fine with, because it feels like eBay is such a part of our culture that, you're going to create an auctioning website where people sell off weird stuff. Yeah, just make it eBay. I get that. And eBay wasn't that big of a thing throughout this film. It was more like the looming threat. Mm-hmm. At one point, they did have this little tiny boy pop up, this little tiny blue boy in a delivery man's outfit. It's like, hi there, mister. I'm here from eBay, and I'm just here to remind you, you got 24 hours left to pay for your item. Which I kind of found that cute, but he kept popping up, and I kind of wish, and I know this is me doing that thing that I always do where it's like, well, I had an idea for a joke and they didn't do it, so I'm mad. I know I do that, and I'm sorry, but my nose is also running nonstop. I'm sorry, I'm just like, But I kind of wish that every time he popped up, he got a little bit older. Because every time he's just like, hi there, mister. And he's like the little, like, I am your singing telegram, like that little guy.
Yeah.
I wish that, like, second time he popped up, he was like a teenager and was like, so, you know you got to pay for that thing, right? And then like third time he's like this big muscular dude like, you have 30 minutes left to pay for your item.
Yeah, but like that kind of implies that he's gonna die as soon as you like...
No, I mean like he gets more intimidating, not like he's aging. I mean like he becomes a big bouncer dude at the end.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, come on, Ralph. Pay up now, like something like that.
Oh.
Yeah, like that's, I wish that they had kind of done something like that, but I still found him to be kind of cute for what he was.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, eBay, e-boy, I get it.
Yeah,
it's kind of like a running joke with that.
Yeah, which that's something that I've also heard people kind of bring up in here is that like, everybody has been drawing comparisons between this and the Emoji movie. But speaking as a guy who saw the Emoji film, I can tell you what this one does different is that yes, there is a lot in this that is them going, hey, it's that thing, it's that thing, it's that thing. But either they actually have a good joke timed around it, or it is just a very quick, you look around and it's there in the background kind of thing. Like, the only time that they actually kind of draw attention to something just to point it out is Google. And it's a real quick, well, now we know where to go to buy goggles. Like, that was it. That was the closest. Everything else is something just in the background, or they actually have jokes timed around that are pretty well.
Yes.
The Emoji movie was, this is Spotify. In Spotify, you can do this thing. This is Instagram. On Instagram, you can do this thing. This is Candy Crush. The entire point of Candy Crush is that if you line up all the little fruits, then you can do, and it's like, this is nothing but ads. It is nothing but, hey, this is what this item is. And it was so, like, you want to talk about product placement? That's what that was. This is just going, we're on the internet, this is stuff on the internet.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to, like, be critical of a movie doing references when it is about the internet.
Yeah, man. It's kind of like, you kind of just have to do that.
Yeah.
Like, if you're making something about going on the internet, that's kind of just what you're gonna have to do. And if you want to talk about how the talent behind a project can change the quality of that project, Ralph Breaks the Internet and the Emoji Film, similar concepts, miles apart from each other. The only time that I can kind of agree with people going, well, this is just kind of shameless what they're doing, is when they get to the Disney website.
Yeah.
However, I will say, when I saw that in the trailers, I was rolling my eyes so hard, I was like, oh my god, they're just going to advertise themselves? This is bullcrap. This is dumb what they plan on. I do not want to see this. And when we actually got to that part, I was actually like, oh, I want to just keep seeing this. We were 2 minutes into them being at the Disney website, and I was just like, can we bring back House of Mouse? Could we possibly do that? Because I just want this as a movie. I want this as a TV series. The Disney website TV series, I would actually just be okay with that. Because...
Yeah, it's like, I really did enjoy, like, what they did with the princesses and stuff.
That's what everybody's talking about, like, the princesses. People just want the princess movie now.
But, like, at the same time, it did not, like, excite me as much.
Okay.
And I think the reason why is because it's all the same property. It's basic, like in the first WreckIt Ralph movie, people got excited when they saw, like, Bowser and Zangief and all of them coming together because they're all from different companies and stuff. And you're like, wow, I would never see these guys together. That's great.
Outside of Smash Bros.
Yeah, outside of Smash Bros. I mean, like, in an actual movie, I meant.
Yes. Okay, I can understand.
Yeah, so it's like, when I saw the Disney stuff, it's like, oh... It's all Disney, so it's not as magical or cool. Like,
man, I don't know if it says more about you or more about Disney that we have a film where we've got Star Wars, Iron Man, and the Disney princesses, and it's like, it's all the same thing.
I don't know, maybe it's also because, like, there's a lot of Kingdom Hearts hype, and it's like, enough with the Disney crossovers, I kind of need a break, please.
Yeah. But I actually, like, I can understand that. It's like, yeah, okay, it's all the same thing. But, like, to me, it was like, yeah, but they're still doing clever stuff with it. Like,
they are.
There's a moment in which she's, like, running around, and she's like, look at that, spaceships and superheroes. And when she says superheroes, like, one of the little, like, Funko Pop humanoids, which... They're not Funko Pops. Every time that someone goes on the internet, they get like a little avatar of themselves.
Yeah, but they look like Funko Pops.
They look like Funko Pops with eyeballs and mouths. And I don't know if it was on purpose or a weird coincidence. I cannot tell. Because they have the little eyes and the big squarish heads. And it's like, if they were round heads, no one would say anything. It's specifically the fact that it's a square head.
If they were round heads, it would make more sense because emojis are
like
round.
Emojis.
Yes.
So yeah, I had to keep looking at this and like, did it? Okay, I don't think you have a... I mean, of course you have a tie-in with Funko Pops because everyone has a tie-in with Funko Pops. Funko Pops makes things of everything. But I don't think it's like you, like Funko was saying, hey, make sure to fit Funko Pops in there. So I don't know if this was just a weird coincidence or if you like sat around in the boardroom and someone was like, make Funko Pops, that's what all the kids are liking these days. It's like, yeah, okay, so I did have a problem with the design of all the humans in there, but there's a moment when you mentioned superheroes and then the Funko Pop version of Stan Lee turns around and just waves at the camera. I was like, that's really cute.
Yeah.
Also kind of sad.
Yeah, yeah.
My audience did kind of like go, oh.
Yeah, mine did too.
Yeah, that was poorly timed. But I did kind of enjoy, like, there came a moment in which she ran backstage at the Disney area, and Star Wars troopers were chasing her, and Grumpy from the Seven Dwarves were like, hey, you little... she went that way over there.
Yeah, I saw a little brat, she went that way or
and it was in that moment that I went, we need House of Mouse back.
Yes.
Because make House of Mouse the backstage, like, the Muppet Show version of Disney is what that show basically was.
Like, here's the thing. I think the reason why I had an issue with, like, all the Disney stuff is because they were just there and didn't really do anything.
I can understand that.
But, like, because I liked what they did with Grumpy because they actually, like, included him.
That was the moment that I was like, this is what I want to see.
Yeah, it's like... You know, it's one thing to have, like, a random cameo, but to have them, like, get involved in a way, that's really great. And
And before anybody in the comments comes in here and goes, oh, so you just want Disney to own everything? You want them to be a monopoly on everything? Brother, it's entirely possible for someone to enjoy a thing and still be fully aware of all the problems surrounding it, all right? We are not all one thing in this universe. I can still look at Disney and going, you're too powerful, you own too much shit. But then I can still look at what you do with all the shit you own and go, oh, I'm enjoying this thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's entirely possible. I can still look at, like, McDonald's and go, those fries taste nice, but holy shit, all the stuff you do to your employees is terrible. Come on, guys. We're all human beings. We're all freaking adults here who are capable of feeling more than one emotion at any given time. So I had to get that out of the way before everybody started commenting on that. But yeah, it was during that moment when Grumpy came in here and she's running around backstage and running into all the people, that I was like, I do want to kind of see that, like, Muppet Show style Disney series.
Yeah.
Because, it was kind of a cool idea when you just had all the regular Disney properties, but now that you can, like, fit Star Wars characters and Marvel characters in there, I actually think this could be even more fun. But yeah, when they get back there with all the princesses, again, I looked at that in the trailers, and I was like, yeah, this is cute. I didn't understand why everyone was losing their minds for it. Everybody was going nuts for that when they saw it in the trailers. And I was like, I don't get why everybody thinks this is that special of a thing. And I think it's because I was feeling the same way that you did. That's like, yeah, it's all just Disney. This is just a thing. But then I also have to stop and think about when the first Avengers movie came out. And I was like, it's Iron Man and Captain America and the Hulk, and they're all in the same scene together, everybody. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
so I was like, I get it. This is your Avengers. I get that moment.
Yeah, it's like when I saw WreckIt Ralph, I was like, oh my god, it's all these characters together. And then the second one comes, I was like, oh hey, it's them again. That's nice.
Okay.
So I guess like the hype eventually wears down.
I see that. I will say I do think the gags they do with the princesses are good. Mm-hmm. I do like the references they make, like we all saw in the trailer in which they were like, did a big strong man save you and everybody thinks all your problems are solved. The better joke in here that is not in the trailer is, I'm not going to fully spoil it, but it is a joke about the princesses' moms. Mm-hmm. I looked at that and went, oh my god, finally someone said it. Okay, so yeah, there is actually some really good jokes with that. And they do actually bring them back later on in the film for another really great gag that I thought. But Yeah, let's go ahead and get into what like the actual film is, because for the first like hour of this film, it is kind of just like, okay, what is the internet? Let's just go from this thing to this thing to this thing. And it was likable. It wasn't like the Emoji Movie. It was like, this is this thing. Like, they would create, like, characters for something. They actually create, like, clever stuff for it.
Yeah, I actually really like the Searchbar. Like,
the Searchbar is great.
And Alan Tudyk came back for him. Like,
if I was drinking a soda when those credits popped up, I would have done a spit take. Because when we were talking about the first WreckIt Ralph and we talked about King Candy, I talked about how Alan Tudyk is such an underrated voice actor because everybody knows him as a live action actor, as like a physical actor. Nobody realizes the amazing stuff he is capable of doing with his voice. And when it got to, and so in the first film, he's King Candy, which sounds nothing like him. And then in this film, he's the Mr. Know-It-All, or
something like
that. Yeah, he's the Searchbar guy. Oh my God, it is, again, a completely different voice. It is this amazing, like, little character that he created. And again, I would never in a million years have guessed that that is Alan Tudyk. So yeah, that guy is insanely talented. I really dug the pop-up ad.
Oh yeah, like was it Spamley? Is that his
Spamley, that was it, yeah. Who's played by Bill Hader, who I looked him up on IMDb just to make sure. He's not listed in the cast of this. But no one is listed in the cast for JP Spamley, so I'm wondering if they were just like, we all know that's Bill Hader. Like, that was so a Bill Hader voice. But yeah, I was like, okay, it's a little pop-up ad. He's going to be, like, really annoying. But he was annoying in a lovable way.
Yeah, and he actually, like, helped out
He was, actually. That's another thing that I have to point out in this. Again, we save all the spoiler stuff for after we give our score on this thing. But this, it's not a spoiler, but it is something that I do have to mention here. It was so gosh darn refreshing to have a Disney movie where there was no secret villain. Like, I kept waiting. It's like, all right, when's the moment that one of your beloved new characters is going to betray you? Taraji P. Henson is playing this character who's the algorithm for a YouTube account, and she's helping you and trying to promote you and trying to make you a big star. We all know that the moment that you that your career dies, she's gonna turn out to be the secret villain of this whole thing. Oh, no, wait, she's not. Oh, she actually is like a really nice character who actually kind of cares about you. Is actually really supportive. Okay. Well, what about Gal Gadot playing, what was her name?
Like, was it Shank?
Shank, yeah. She's playing Shank in this online driving game, which we haven't gotten to that. We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
But I was like, she's being really nice to Vanellope, but she's also trying to convince Vanellope to come and join her in her game. Oh, I see. I see how that is. I know what's got... No, she's actually just a really nice person.
Like, honestly, when they introduced Shank, I was worried that she was going to replace Calhoun as, like, the badass lady or something like that. But
she kind of did.
Yeah, but, like...
Let's get into that.
Yeah. I was kind of disappointed with the lack of Fix-It Felix and Calhoun.
I was going to say that for when I get into the negatives in here, but it's weird, perfect time to bring it up. Yeah, this thing starts off with all the not Candy Crush, the Sugar Rush kids needing a place to stay, and no one wants to take them in, so Fix-It Felix and Calhoun are like, you know what? We've always been thinking about having kids. What better way to do it than adopting 15 of them at once without thinking about it at all? So yeah, they adopt them, and then instantly it all goes terrible, and you see like Fix-It Felix like going to the bar for the first time in his life to talk to Ralph. And it's like, oh my God, they're going to drive them insane. What hijinks are they getting into? You do not see them or anybody at the arcade again at all until the end of the movie.
Yeah, and like, here's another nitpick I had. Like, when Ralph goes to the internet, Fix-It Felix is like, I'll cover for you. And like, you never see... that happened.
They are literally gone for 24 hours, and all I could think was, you remember what happened the last time that Ralph was gone from his game for 24 hours?
Like, I thought, like...
the giant apocalyptic, out-of-order red sun appeared in the sky.
Yeah, that was kind of a big deal in the first movie. Like, I don't know, like, maybe they got the Sugar Rush kids to wreck the building.
Yeah, again, when he said, I'll cover for you, I wanted to look at that and be like, okay, so where's the part where, like, we get, like, that one shot of, like, the game starting up, and then, like, Calhoun has to come in as, like, Fix-It Felix, and Fix-It Felix has to come in as, like, WreckIt Ralph, and, like, Calhoun's like, why am I not just WreckIt Ralph? And it's, like, just, some kind of a joke in there about, like, all of them having to switch places around. Kubert comes in and covers for Calhoun over in the, like, in the Call of Duty game, Heroes Duty game, like just something, like give us like some kind of a quick gag about that, because you set up the freaking gag. It's there, it's perfect. And it's kind of an important gag. It's not something that you can even like cut out, because you can't watch this and not think to yourself, you've been gone for 24 hours. How is your game not shut down by now?
Yeah, I mean, I understand you want to focus on like the internet, but it's like having
The entire premise of the first film was what happens when Ralph leaves for 24 hours. Yeah, so it is kind of a big deal. The dog is down there again for everyone. Yes. So yeah, that was kind of disappointing to me as well. But yeah, even like JP's family, like a guy who was a like spam bot in there. They even have a great joke about viruses when he comes into his office.
Yeah.
And like, don't worry, I know what you're thinking, but my antivirus guy was here. It's totally clear. Oh god, there's one right now.
Yeah, like he was stepping on a bug, like an actual like computer bug, but that's shaped like an insect. So I really like that gag.
That's the thing. Again, this movie, it's nothing but like making jokes about the internet, but they're good jokes. Yeah, man, it's like the quality is there. And speaking of the jokes that they make about the internet, let's talk about when he actually becomes a big YouTube star, which that is a small problem that I kind of had. They talked about how much money he was getting paid for these videos, and he makes like $43 off of a video that gets over 1 million hits. And I did kind of look at that, and I was just like, listen, YouTube doesn't pay you shit, but it will pay you more than $43 for a video that gets more than 1 million hits. Like, it's not quite that bad. But he has to, within the span of this 24 hours, make a dozen different videos that go viral. No video goes that viral that quickly within 24 hours. Like, I know the internet is fast. It ain't that fast. And I did keep kind of looking at this, like, you couldn't have really put, like, I'm sorry, I can't quite buy this 100%.
Yeah, and it's like, another nitpick I have is like, they're using real money, but it's like, Ralph has an online bank account? Like,
he's got like a PayPal kind of thing, which that actually is possible. You don't have to. These days, it is actually possible to have money that you can spend online without having a bank account. That is possible because they mentioned that they set up like it's not PayPal, but it's like a PayPal ripoff thing.
Right.
They set up an account for him like that.
Okay.
And that's where all of his money is going to.
All right.
And they do say at eBay they do accept that. So it is like, they do explain that. They give you enough on that.
Okay.
But I'll also come in here and just say, YouTube takes well over a month to pay you, and he's getting paid instantly for this stuff. But again, it's not YouTube; it's BuzzTube. So it's like, all right, man.
Maybe they do things differently.
Maybe they do things differently in this fictional website. So it's like, okay, I understand, fine, whatever. But I kind of enjoyed like all the little memes that he had to do, but at the same time, I was kind of like, yeah, we've seen all this stuff. It's like,
I understand.
It kind of was just like, that was the one moment where it actually did feel to me kind of Emoji movie-like, because it felt kind of to me like they were just going, here's all the stuff that's popular on the internet, and we're going to slap Ralph on it. And I was like, okay, that is something that's popular on the internet.
Yeah, in fact, I was surprised that like a bunch of other people with the BuzzTube accounts did not also join in on the Ralph hype.
Yeah, it seems like if it's that easy to make money, maybe it is that easy. Maybe I'm just doing it wrong. I need to get covered in bees. That was the one joke that actually did make me laugh, though. I will say that is the one gag that actually really got me. I won't spoil it for everybody, but there was a bee joke in there that I actually really enjoyed. Although they do mention that bee puns are big on the internet, and I was like, dude, I've been on the internet for years now, like, as an actual career. I'm not saying I'm, like, hip it in with the kids, but I would have remembered bee puns were a thing. Is that a reference to all the Bee Movie jokes?
Maybe.
I think that's what that was supposed to be, a reference to all the Bee Movie jokes.
Maybe.
Which, okay, fine, that's a wink and nod to that. But let's get
Maybe. Bee puns.
Peach hates that. But let's get into what the movie, let's get into this third act twist of what this movie actually is. Again, we're not spoiling anything right now, but yeah, this is a Disney film. I can't remember the last time that Disney made an animated film where it's just like, hey, happy fun adventure. Nothing more than that. They try to come in here with some emotions, and that's exactly what they do.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. First off, there's really subtle stuff all throughout this because we mentioned when we watched the first film that Vanellope pixelating and glitching, you could see that as a metaphor for some kind of a disorder, like a physical or mental disorder. In this one, it's not even a metaphor.
No.
It is clear it is anxiety disorder.
Yeah, like whenever she like gets nervous or upset, she starts glitching out.
And she doesn't just get nervous, she like starts going down the spiral.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, anybody who has anxiety disorder, you know about the spiral, where it's like, well, what if it, and then this, and then, but then we can't, and then and it just keeps building and building, and as she's doing that, she starts pixelating more in this, and Ralph has to come in there like someone who is like, who knows how to deal with people who suffer from anxiety disorder, and he has to come in there, it's like, hey, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's all gonna be fine, it's gonna be fine, okay, okay. He doesn't actually like pet her. But it's like, it's okay, listen, we're gonna do this, it's gonna be great, it's all gonna work out. And I actually enjoyed how well they captured that.
Yeah.
I thought that they did that
I really
great.
did enjoy the relationship between Ralph and Vanellope. It's like a big brother, little sister relationship.
Yeah, it was so good. But here's the thing. Ralph, as we said, Vanellope wants something different. And Vanellope finds it in this slaughter race game. Slaughter Race is kind of exactly what she's been looking for. And everyone there is so nice. And like Shanks is like a big sister to her. In fact, there was a conspiracy theory going around the internet before this movie came out that they were going to discover that Slaughter Race was a game made by the same people who made Sugar Rush, and this was like the updated version, and she actually was an older Vanellope.
Oh.
That was like the theory that people had. And of course,
that theory.
Yeah, of course it didn't pan out, but it actually is a cool idea.
Yeah, I do like that idea.
But so, she wants to stay there with them, but she knows Ralph won't be okay with it, and Ralph eventually learns about like her wanting to leave, and he like freaks out, and he starts showing off like, yeah, I'm not like I was in the last film. I'm confident, I'm cool, I'm collect, I know what's going on. But it's revealed the reason why he's like that is because he finally enjoys his life. And the moment that he kind of sees, oh, my life might fall apart and kind of go back to it, he loses it. And I mentioned that there is no secret villain in this film, but the closest thing that you get to a secret villain is kind of Ralph himself.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that this movie is not afraid to go, hey, the protagonist of the film has got massive issues, and they're destructive issues that he needs to deal with. And they're issues that you at home might not even realize that you have. So we're just going to hold a big-ass mirror up to the audience because some of you in that audience might look at Ralph and go, oh, have I ever done something like that? And
at one point, like in the movie, Ralph says, I have a date with a man in the mirror. It's like, I get that.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, you're confronting your own fears and everything. And, you know, that's, once again, we were talking about, like, how, like such an important moral in the first movie.
Yeah.
And, like,
it's a very, like, adult moral,
yeah,
too.
it is. And, like, we got another adult moral in the sequel, too.
I came to the realization last night after watching this film that it is stunning to me that Disney has more adult messages and adult themes in so many of their animated kiddie films than most grown-up films do. Mm-hmm. Ralph goes through more development and more personal human growth in this movie than most actual human beings do in their entire life, and most other movie characters do in actual, like, again, grown-up movies. But that's true for many Disney films. Mm-hmm. We actually do, but I think this one might actually have the most growth of anyone. Because, you know, in the first film, it's Ralph learning to become okay with his job because he learns, you know what, even if people don't like me, someone has to do it. It's like, that is an important lesson. But also, he gets a friend along the way, he finds someone who he can relate to, and so he has something there to, like, push him on towards this growth. And this one, he just has to confront himself. Mm-hmm. He just has to deal with his own personal issues. And it is honestly stunning, like, how dark it gets with all that. But it never gets dark in that way that, again, you can look at it and go like, oh man, kids aren't going to be able to understand. Like, this is too dark for a kid's film.
It's like, too deep, too dark. Like,
no, man, it's kind of what we mentioned in the first film. It's that, yeah, when we were coming up, there were so many, actually I think we mentioned this in the She-Ra review, but we mentioned that so many of those 80s cartoons that we grew up with, the big important message of it all was, don't take candy from strangers, kids. Look both ways when crossing the street. If you see a stray animal, don't go up and pet. It's like, those are good messages, but they're all messages that my parents teach me automatically. messages like, hey man, sometimes your own insecurities might destroy your friendships, and sometimes you just have to deal with the fact that people change and grow and that things are going to change in your life. Or, hey man, sometimes you're not going to have to like the thing that you do, but you got to do it, but that's okay because that's just part of life. Those are really big, important messages that, you know, parents will teach you, but they're not in the parent handbook of what to tell your kid. Because also, you can't really just tell your kid that and they'll understand it. You kind of have to present it in the format of a movie, in the format of a story, in which you can get attached to a character and watch them go through it so that you then can kind of understand it yourself. It's the kind of thing that you have to tell in a movie or a TV show or a story. So yeah, I'm stunned by the fact that modern day animation has taken that much of a turn of, we're going to teach your kids some real life lessons here. But they still do it in a fun way. So yeah, I really did love where this movie ended up going. I think, I said I gave the first one an 8.5. I think I might just give this one an 8, because even though I enjoyed the first half of this film, it is a little bit just like, now we go from here to here to here to here, and this thing, and it's like, it's kind of just like joke. But you do kind of look back at that and see them planting the seeds for the big turn in the end, but I'll still give it an 8.
Yeah, I think I might either give it like an 8 or a 7.5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I think once again, I was just kind of like, done with all the crossovers and stuff,
fair enough.
So
Smash Bros. Comes out in like less than a week right now and you're done with crossovers?
There's too many, I need a break.
Kingdom Hearts has had like 12 years to get from 2 to 3. We're finally a month away from it and you're just done. You collapsed at the finish line.
I did.
Alright, fine. Guess I'll just play through those myself. But okay, let's go into spoiler corner on this one. Towards the end of this thing, Ralph actually tries to destroy
Slaughter Race. So Vanellope can come home.
So that she can come home. Because he injects this virus into it that finds insecurities. And it analyzes Vanellope's glitching in there as an insecurity and adds the glitching to the entire world. And Vanellope is blaming herself for it, and I really dug that because it showed that, yeah, she suffers from anxiety. It does not take much to kind of like send her into the spiral, and then this is kind of making that message of, hey man, if you're the friend of someone like that, you kind of have to support them. You can't come in here and try and kick the stool out from underneath them. They're going to Wow, that was a dark reference. I meant that they were sitting in the stool. I just realized what I was like, sorry, no, that. I meant that they were sitting in it.
They're sitting in their stool, what? No.
I don't think you got the actual thing, the dark thing that possibly could have been. I'm not going to say it then. But yeah, you can't come in here and kick the chair out from underneath them. So, yeah, it is, it's really powerful in that moment, but then the virus analyzes Ralph, like saying, no, Vanellope, come back, come on, come back. And it's like, insecurity found. So it then creates a Ralph virus.
Yes.
That just creates this giant, massive, like, collection of Ralphs.
No, it's like, first he, like, duplicates, he makes, like, Ralph clones.
Giant, massive Ralphs, like a bunch of them.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But then they do all come together to form one giant Ralph. And yeah, they're all just friend, like they just need friends.
They just need Vanellope.
Yeah. So it creates a virus that spreads across the entire internet, the WreckIt Ralph virus. Which I did have to raise questions about, like, what's it gonna be like for Ralph when he gets back home? Like, is there gonna be a long line of people, like, wanting to play WreckIt Ralph? Or is there gonna be a long line of people demanding, like, get rid of WreckIt Ralph? It's bad publicity right now. However, Ralph then...
Like, I kind of feel like people on the internet might associate the WreckIt Ralph virus with all the WreckIt Ralph videos. Like, oh, if I click on this WreckIt Ralph video, I might get the virus.
That actually is, like, they don't say anything like that, but that actually is a good explanation for why, like, Ralph's, like, popularity would just go away instantly. Because, yeah, they were making a joke in here about how Ralph is no longer popular. He just needs like a few more dollars, and nobody wants to click on his videos anymore. And I was like, again, this has all been within 24 hours. no meme dies that fast. Memes die fast. I mean, this year alone, we've had the Captain America sitting in the chair. We've had the, is this a butterfly? Is this a bird?
Yeah, but then sometimes memes get resurrected. So it's really weird.
But yeah, it's like, but even though we've had so many different memes this year, they still each lasted a couple weeks. Yeah, that was one thing that I was thinking about weeks ago before I even saw this film. This has been the year of memes. I have never seen so many just pop up one right after another and just instantly get forgotten. This whole year has felt like 5 years. Do you remember that we had an Olympics this year and no one remembers it?
We did?
Yes. There was an Olympics this year and no one remembers. Hell, the Tide Pod, people eating Tide Pods?
Oh, yeah.
That was this year. Which, man...
That was messed up.
You want to talk about Ralph trying to copy stuff on the internet? Where's the scene where he just picks up a giant box of Tide Pods and just like, I don't know what everybody says about these is so bad, and his mouth just starts foaming up. They wouldn't have done that.
No.
I understand that.
Yes, that's...
That's for there is probably that note up on the board somewhere, though. Because when you think about how that was happening, at the beginning of this year, they probably had just enough time to possibly go back in there and put that scene in there for this thing. Kudos on them on not doing that, though. But yeah, so at the end of this, Vanellope just says, fine, I'll be your friend forever, and it's clear that her heart is broken because her dream is ruined, and she's going to just be a captive of Ralph now. And then real Ralph comes in, and he makes this big speech about personal growth, and about how it's going to be okay, and you know what, you can't just keep your friends kidnapped, you gotta let them go and chase their dreams. And it's such a good speech. It is a damn good speech. And I mentioned when we watched the first WreckIt Ralph that, yeah, when he gives that speech about how I'm not good and I'll never be good, I started tearing up at that. I started tearing up at this one too.
Yeah, there were definitely a lot of emotions going on in the theater.
That's kind of the trend of the Ralph films, is that's hey, just lighthearted, goofy fun, first half, really dark emotion second half, end on a about to make you cry moment. But then at the end of this, he lets Vanellope go, and they did mention that they added her code into the game, so that way if she dies, she will come back in the game, because that was the one thing that I kept going, listen, I want you to pursue your dreams too, but I don't think you realize the stakes on this one.
Yeah, I like to think of her as a DLC or something like that, because that's what they do with online games all the time.
Yeah, Vanellope costs $5 for this game. Yeah, but yeah.
Or an unlockable character or something? I don't know.
There's no unlockable characters anymore.
Yeah, it's all DLCs.
Yeah, exactly. Especially not for online games that you gotta pay. So yeah, you can think of her like that. But also, I did kind of like that even though she is in this more realistic, dark, gritty world, she's still this little cartoon character. Because Slaughter Race is very clearly, I know some people are going to say it's Grand Theft Auto, but no, to me it is, what was that racing game from the PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 era? It had the guy with the clown mask on and the flaming hair who drove the ice cream truck.
I don't remember.
God, what was that called? I can't even remember the name of the big clown guy. Hold on a second.
Not Saints Row.
No. Although this could have been Saints Row with the sharks popping out.
I feel like it is much like how Hero's Duty is
3 different things.
Yeah, I think Slaughter Race is also a bunch of different realistic racing games combined.
Racing game, clown. What is this game? Twisted Metal, that was it. And his name was Sweet Tooth. I couldn't remember those, but it was that's what this reminds me of. And Sweet Tooth, yeah, he's a freaking clown with flaming hair in that. I could picture a cartoon character popping up in a game like that. So it's okay, she doesn't seem that out of place. It still works. But yeah, I did, when she kept talking about how she wanted to come and join this, and I just kept looking at it, I was you have witnessed how many people die in this game, and if you die in this game, you will not come back. So I'm glad that they did stop and turn to the audience there at the end and just be she added my code, so if I die, nothing will happen to me. Woo! Okay. So yeah, I was actually really impressed that they did that.
Yeah, I was really impressed that they put Vanellope in Slaughter Race too, because I was like, when she was waving goodbye to Ralph, I was like waiting for that moment where she comes running back to him. It's like, I can't abandon my best friend. And she didn't do that.
Yeah.
And that's really, really a big move for like a Disney movie.
Really impressive.
Yeah, it's like, it's like, I'm going to abandon my dreams so I can make my friend happy. It's like, no, your friend is happy because you were chasing after your dream and achieving it.
And you can still be sad to see him go, but you're going to be okay. And that's what the message of this movie is.
Yes, that's the thing. Like, they say, like, friendships change, but the good ones last.
Yeah. And also, at the end of this, like, they're still talking.
Yeah.
They still have the little communication devices that they got on the internet, so they're still talking to each other. So it's like, man, it's just a long-distance friendship now.
It is. Like, and, like, she even mentions, hey, can you bring over some burgers from Burger Time? Like, the people at Slaughter Race don't realize how great they are. He's like...
Yeah, and she mentions, like, her update will be happening in, like, 2 months. And it's like, 2 months, that'll fly by. It's like... Yeah, man, it's such a mature relationship that they have. It's so smart. And also at the end of this, like, Fix-It Felix, like, Ralph, they said that they would always stay up all night and watch the sun come up in the arcade. And Ralph is there watching the sun come up, and he's talking to Vanellope at the same time. He's like, all right, I'll see you. And they hang up. And then Fix-It Felix comes up and is like, come on, buddy, let's get to work. And I kind of like that in a weird way. Felix and him also kind of watched the sun come up because Felix was there in the same room. So it's like, and also earlier on in this film, Felix joined him at Tapper's Bar for the first time. And I was like, yeah, man, it's possible for you to have other friends.
Yeah, that's another thing. It's like...
Yeah, it's like Vanellope is your best friend, but you know what? Felix is a cool guy, too.
Yeah.
Felix is all right, okay? So, yeah, I did enjoy that. Also, there was a great joke at the end of this. I am mad that they just cut out, like, so much. You know there had to be, like, deleted scenes of Felix and Calhoun. So I hate that they cut out everything involving them until the very tail end of this.
Yeah.
But there is a great joke in there about parenting. I won't spoil that one for everybody. You gotta go and just watch it for yourself. But that one's it's a great joke.
Oh, speaking of scenes that didn't make the movie.
Okay, I was watching someone's review. There's 2 post-credit scenes, one mid-credit scene and one actual post-credit scene. I was watching someone else's review, and they said that these were just awful. They hated them. I really like the post-credit scenes in this. I don't know how you felt about it.
The first one I thought was...
Yeah,
meh.
I'm there with you on that one as well.
But like the one at the very end of the credits, I laughed my ass off.
Yeah, me too. I heard someone saying they were pulling their head, like someone saying they hated that one. I was like, I can't get there. Man, I loved it. I loved the last joke in
Like
this.
maybe they just don't like the meme or like...
Well, because they said that meme is old. I was like, yeah, so? Everything about this is old. Yeah, that meme that they do at the end of this is old, but we still know it. Okay, let's talk about what they actually are, though. The middle credit scene, it's that scene from the very first trailer that came out of the little girl playing on her iPad the, like, pancakes milkshake game where she gives the pancakes to the bunny and the milkshake to the cat. You're like, pancakes, milkshake. And then Ralph comes in and he just keeps going pancake, 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 pancake until the rabbit explodes and the little girl screams. In the mid-credit scene, it starts off with the mom driving the little girl, and then she goes, how do you like the movie, honey? And then she goes, well, it was okay, but there was a scene in the trailers that wasn't in the movie, and that made me sad. Okay, well, I'm sorry, honey. Play your game and see if it makes you feel better. Okay. I thought it was going to end there, or I thought it was going to hold on when the little girl said, there was a scene in the trailers that wasn't in the movie, and that made me sad. Back to credits. Like, I thought that's what I was going to do, and I was like, oh, that is a genius F you to the... that is brilliant, because you know people were waiting on that scene. Because everybody remembers that scene from the trailers.
Yeah.
They were waiting on it, and they didn't do it. That is brilliant to come in there and call out the fact that you didn't do it in the movie, and then still not do it. That is smart. But then they actually did, like, literally the entire scene from the trailer. Like, it's literally the entire thing. And I kept waiting, like, no, you're going to cut off here because it'd be dumb to do the entire thing. And then they did the entire thing.
Yeah, it's like, I feel like that they wanted to put it in the movie, but they didn't know where to put it.
There was really, like, no place to do it.
But, like, I was thinking back to, like, when Spamly was, like, offering them, like, money to play video games. And it's like, hey, why don't they just, like, go to the pancake milkshake game and, like, try and, like, stuff the bunny in order to get money.
Scam kids out of like paying for like more tries on the game.
Yeah, but it's like because they explode the bunny doesn't work. So I actually kind of want like more of that. Like, you know how like in the first movie you're like, I wish they went into more video games. I was kind of like, I wish they went into like more apps, I guess.
Okay, fair enough.
Like more game apps because they are game characters.
Fair enough, yeah. Man, that has been the trend of the WreckIt Ralph movies, is that if you went into this because you wanted to see these game characters jump from one video game to another, you ain't getting it. But I will say, at least in this film, that wasn't the premise. The premise was they go to the internet.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they went to the internet. I'll give them that. Mm-hmm. But the last one, the actual one that comes after the credits, is that it goes, and now, your first look at Frozen 2. Click here, and then like a mouse moves over, clicks on, and then you see snowflakes coming on, and the music's starting to play up, and then never gonna give you up, and it's Ralph singing it, and like Fix It Felix is the guy at the bar, and like Fix It Felix is the guy at the bar, and he just starts singing the song. And then it like actually ends with like the actual ending credits coming up of like the Disney logo and everything. Goes, all right, that's it, everybody. There really aren't any more surprises, but good luck getting that song out of your head. It's a real earwig. So what are you guys doing after this? Anyway, what else has been going on? And I really man, the entire thing made me laugh. Like, I don't get people hating that last end credit scene. Like, if you hate it just because it's old, like, you still know what it is and you still associate it with the internet.
Some people just don't like getting rickrolled.
That's the other thing. I heard other people talking about, like, oh, well, I saw it coming. Like, I fucking didn't. I didn't. Like, it starts off with, and now your first look at Frozen 2. Click here. I thought that, like, Frozen was going to start playing, and then, like, Ralph would come in there and, like, hey, is this a trailer? What's going on down there? What's that little bar down there? Hey, is that a snowman over there? Like, something like...
I honestly kind of thought they were going to do, like, a sneak peek of Frozen 2 because, considering they had, like, an Olaf cartoon in front of Coco, it wouldn't surprise me.
I think after that, they're not going to show us any Frozen stuff in other Disney films for a while. I think they're holding off on that. Man, the negative reaction to that, which was earned, by the way. Because that was awful, that little Olaf thing. Goddamn, a half-hour short in front of this.
It was supposed to be just a Christmas special on TV, and it just should have stayed that way.
Dear God.
Ugh.
Not to mention, the message of that short was terrible. We talk about how Disney has been putting great messages in their films. That Olaf short, the message of it was, hey man, Christmas is special because of you, Olaf. Look at all these Olaf toys that everyone has been getting. Like, fuck you.
It's like, hey, look at this Olaf toy that you can buy at the Disney store. Wink,
Might
wink.
as well have had him like on a rotating platform, just with like little like call now, $49.99. It's like, fuck you. This is terrible. And you guys wonder why I hate Christmas specials so much. I hate all this commercialization in my Olaf. I remember back the true message of Olaf, letting it go. Anyway, I don't know where I was going with that.
He does it, Grinch.
I prefer Krampus, thank you very much.
Fair enough.
I have the beard for it. I did really enjoy this movie. Oh, yeah, one other spoiler thing we didn't talk about is how the princesses come back around in this. I thought that was great.
Yeah, it's like, and speaking of which, it's like, they ask Vanellope if she's like a princess and stuff. It's like technically yes, because she's owned by Disney and she was originally a princess in her game, but it's like, oh, you.
They said she was the president at the end of the last one.
Yes, but it's like,
she's now princess.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know. But like, I think like one of the reasons why she's considered a princess is because a Disney princess because she wants more in her life. That's a big trend with Disney princesses.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's
a lot of them is like, I've been trapped in my one little world, I want to get out there. Mm-hmm. Let's see, Ariel, Belle, Anna from Frozen, hold on.
Rapunzel,
yeah, absolutely Rapunzel. Snow White, I guess, too?
Cinderella, definitely.
Cinderella, definitely, yeah. Man, you're right, that is like...
Moana, she was trapped on the island, she wanted to go out to the sea.
God damn.
Yeah, so yeah, she really
And what's weird is they bring up all the things the princesses have in common. Who's the girl from Tatiana? Was that her name from...
for Princess and the Frog?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's another one who won.
She's another one. Although her dream, she was actually working towards and actually doing something. She didn't need magic to come along and make it happen. Anyway. About to go off on another tangent on that one. I like Princess and the Frog, and I think it's severely underrated. I think people give it shit for no reason.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's one that I have always... Like, that film blew me the freak away, and I think people give it way too much crap. Not that it's perfect, it has problems, but still.
But it's still a very good movie.
It's damn good. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, man, it's weird that they list off so many of the trends that the princesses have, and that's not one that they listed. They said, like, they even mentioned, like, staring into water.
Into magic water. And singing, like, letting a song come to you and you sing about your dreams.
That's not, like, Ariel, yeah, but that's it. It was only Ariel, and they were like, nope, soap bubbles with Cinderella. I was like, okay. And then Belle into a wishing well. Okay. And, like, it just kept going, and I was like, oh my, like, Moana, the ocean. I was like, dear God. So, yeah. This film was actually really smart with its diagnosis of the princesses. But at the end of this, when Ralph gets the big monster Ralph to dissolve because it learns to be happy with itself and so it fades away, Ralph is then falling to his doom. And then his old pal Spamley comes up to like catch him, which we haven't even mentioned. Spamley has this little tiny friend, Mort. Yeah. His little assistant, Mort. That dude is great. Forget making, like, dolls out of all the other characters in here. Just give me a plush of Mort. He is great in this.
With those stretchable arms.
He's animated so well, too. Because he just pops up, and he's got, like, a sweater that covers, like, up to here on him, and he never says anything. He just stands there. It's like, Mort, give him the flyer. And he, like, hands the flyer over to Vanellope. Then he hands the flyer to Ralph, and his arm just, like, starts not stretching, but forming new elbows as it goes up. It's like, oh my God, that is so well done.
Yeah, and it's like, it's because, like, he's, like, a virus or, like, related
He's kind of related to a virus, yeah, so he's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, Spamley comes up to catch him, and then he goes right through Spamley's car.
Yeah, because, like, Spamley is, like, basically...
He's got this hunk of junk little machine, but then it cuts to all the princesses down there. It's like, look, a big strong man who needs saving. And they all team up to save him. I was like, that's actually really adorable. That is a good joke. Like, the fact that this movie ends with the big strong, like, the biggest, strongest man of any Disney character, too, being saved by all the princesses. That's actually good. That's a real good way to go.
And they mention, like, we're Vanellope's friend. And any friend of Vanellope is a friend of ours. And I think Ralph's just, like, really happy because, like, oh, good, she has other friends. She won't be lonely out here in the internet, or like...
That was part of it, but man, I really dig Ralph in this movie because I dig that even though, he is this big bruiser of a character, like, he is a character who's created just to wreck and destroy stuff, he's actually, like, a really well-developed man. Like, he's not, like, there was a moment in which he's, like, crying, and Shank from the murder race game, Slaughter Race, she's like, I do respect your openness and willing to feel your own emotions. I was like, holy crap, it's actually really positive to, like, see this guy's stuff in these movies. And, like, him at the end, like, he's not embarrassed to be saved by the princesses either. He's just kind of like, oh, hey, thanks, ladies. And I'm like, yeah, man, it's nice. It's nice seeing stuff like this. But yeah, so that's it. This went on so much longer than I thought it would.
We had a lot to talk about.
Typically, the reviews that go on the longest are the ones where I'm the only one who saw it, so I have to describe the entire plot to you. But yeah, man, it went on so long because there is a lot to cover in this film. But yeah, we both still really enjoyed it. So yeah, thank you guys very much for tuning in. We're still playing catch up since we haven't been able to get to the movies in the past 2 weeks. So tomorrow we're going to try and see Creed 2. Then for Monday we're going to try and see Anna and the Apocalypse. And somewhere in all that, I am going to try and see Widows. Also, whatever that movie about the guy driving the other guy is, everybody's calling it like one of the best movies of the year or one of the worst movies of the year. So I'll go and see what I think of it. But yeah, thank you guys very much for tuning in. Come back next time. Bye.
Bye.